Welcome back. Here we are. Real quick, don't worry. We've changed some things because we're testing some things. So, just bleh. First off, big shout out. First off, big shout out to Troy Boy 1799. He was the one that let us know that if we go to this little area, notice how the guardrails are not there anymore. So if we just click the O button, guardrails come back up. So it says here, top left there, it says simple, activate simple loading area. And then if we come back out, so this is the simple loading area, which I didn't notice last time. So fantastic. Thank you very much. Huge shout out. Thank you very much. So what happens, those drop down. And then what ends up happening is the pallets should, should spawn out of here. However, I think I have found an issue with the mod itself, unfortunately, because Troy Boy also said that if we go to this wrench, there should be something that pops up. And he is correct. That is that there should be something popping up. However, for some reason, this is not allowing us to pop anything up. And then what's I think is happening is the actual mod itself. So if we just grab any one, doesn't matter which one, because we have the XXS, we have the S2, the S1, the M1, M2. So we're using the M2 right now. This is what the million liter capacity. And then if we use the M1, this one has 100,000 liters capacity for overlapping. So if we use the 100,000 liter capacity for each, excuse me, there we go. Let's just get rid of this for a second here. Okay, so let's just double check here, right? So if we're coming around here, we don't see anything. Up at the top left, it should say something underneath, or above, I should say, select camera. So then if we get, let's move this out of the way first. Yes, so I've been fumbling around because he told me about that, and I went and tried the activation. Oh, and yeah, testing wise, yep, we even brought in the multi-fruit buying station just because I was trying to figure this out. So and I did, and I finally did. So we're just gonna get rid of this. Boom, that's gone. Now we're just gonna grab the next one. We're gonna grab the M1. Let's slap the M1 down, and we're just gonna slap that down there like that. Now, if we walk up to this, see now it says Central Warehouse M1 owned by no active productions, building storage. Storage is empty. And if we come up here, it says manage production point. So if we click on this, this gives us our owned under our productions for production chains. And then this gives us the ability to, so this is everything that it will store for us. And let's go all the way down. Holy jumping. Outgoing product. Okay, so it looks like it is. Yep. So I'm going to say it has become a distribution production as well. Distribution mod, not just a warehouse. But the other one isn't. So I think the other one isn't like, okay, so let's get rid of that one. Perfect. Okay, let's get rid of that one. We'll put this one down. And overlaps. Yep, let's just go with that one. Then if we go here, boom. This one, oh, this one doesn't. Interesting. So now if we get, if we just grab our forklift for a second. Yeah, again, I think it's with individual mods because this one, you know what? Hold on. If we just run back to, because this one, when it pops up on the, see, Central Warehouse 2, this silo is empty. The silo is empty. This is what's, we don't even need to put that in there because we can put something in there. Oh, you know what? No, I got to. Testing. I got to show. I'm sorry. Trying to get this out of the way. Just so we all understand where we're going and what's happening, because I made some decisions about it where, yes, to a degree, like I guess if it's considering it a silo, then no, there's nothing wrong with it. If you're using it as a distribution, again, that's great. But if you're using it as a warehouse, like our original intention in 22, and our original use, I shouldn't even say the original intention was it just and again, yep, nothing there. So that is the S2. So the S2, it registers as a silo. And then the S1 and overlaps collides with player. There we go. So the S1, see, Central Warehouse. So now it registers as a warehouse. owned by my farm storage is empty, not silo, not silo. So same thing. Let's just finalize it here. This one, boom. Okay, hold on. I haven't. Oh, there. Oh, there we go. Manage production point. There we go. So this is. And I could write. Oh, it's funny that it doesn't pop up on the field info. Interesting. Okay. Okay. Good to know. So this one registers as a distribution, I should say, instead of a silo, right? As an actual storage. So with that being said, now, as much as the option to have that area is there, which again, I don't understand, I guess to a degree, I kind of don't understand why have it there, right? Mm-hmm. So central warehouse, so yeah, see 100,000 liters in the bottom, stored goods, received goods, and store them based on a production. Yeah, based on a production. Based on a production, and then stored goods. So 500,000 liters as a silo, and then this receives goods based on a production. Okay, so Major just had to read properly. So that's the understanding. So this is basically just a silo. Now the good thing is that our intention and the way it works out in 22 with the way we had it was we just had it where we dropped off here and then we used this truck right here as our distributor. This was what came in and it picked up what our product was and distributed it out manually to where we needed it to be distributed. So this is still working technically on the silo. This isn't, so to speak, we could say, because the option to have it is there. However, because it's a silo, for some reason, they're not giving us, see, like it lets us activate it unless, hold on. So if we get, I have a quick idea. Okay, hold on. I'm trying to do this as quick as possible. I'm sorry. Because once I get into that testing. Okay, we didn't need that many, but sure. All right. So let's grab 2. And my idea is, what if we put the silo down? And then we put a little, like maybe we put the small one, like the storage with it? Maybe? Let's see here. Okay, so because that's what I'm thinking is I don't think it's going to work personally. I personally don't think it's going to work, but we are going to try it here. Okay. Because yeah, it really chapped me there that it was, like Troy gave us the thing. I was like, yes, that's great. We could do it. And then I'm like, why? There's got to be something I'm missing. I'm just beating myself up trying to figure out what I'm doing wrong. And then finally, that's when it clicked, where I started reading, and then I started reading the info where, again, so central, so 2,000 strawberries. We got nothing, no availability there. So if we let's just get the small one. No, boop, right there. So we still need access to that. So we need to do, what if we do it? Okay, I don't like doing it this way, but just for testing purposes, we're going to put this right here. Why not? Overlaps? Yeah, that's okay. Let's do a free mode. Oh, how long? Oh, yeah, you know what? That doesn't... Perfect. Yeah, that's not so bad. Other than, it's not... Okay. Here we go. So we have strawberries? No, we don't. Yeah, it says 0 strawberries. Okay. So our original plan is going to work still. That's fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep with this building, and we're going to, obviously we can't use this, which means that we're not necessarily going to decorate over it, but we can continue on without worrying about it so much, because the initial worry was, okay, well, now we need to possibly get pallets. Don't get me wrong. I would love to have the ability. If I had the ability to pull pallets out, that would be fantastic. Just because I remember in 22, there were so many times that it was only a couple pallets I needed to take. And because we didn't have the smaller trailer that works with this one, we had to use this one. It was like, 2-3 pallets, maybe 4 pallets that you could throw in a pickup truck, and you had to use the big one, right? So Okay, that being said, now we understand. I just wanted to let y'all know because, again, Troy Boy, thank you so much for letting me know that. That was fantastic and pointing me in the right direction. And also, too, if you guys run into that, if any of you folks run into this issue where you don't understand why it's not letting you, it's because it's a silo. All right, from here, let's get back to where we left off in episode 1, and let's continue on. Okay, so here we are back originally. So we didn't save anything. We just did the testing and then exited. That's why we don't have our autosave on. And then what we're doing on this one is we're actually going to be bringing in 2 extra mods this time, just for testing as well. The big decoration pack, this one right here, that one is by Didek96, as well as the bridge set right here. That one is by Razak. Again, we're going to be adding everything that we put in the description is going to be everything that we add in every episode is going to be added to the description. So I'm just going to add them to the description on top of the list, and then it's just going to continue on. So we don't necessarily have to worry about having a constant mod update. If there's a mod that's going to be coming in, it's going to come in at the beginning of each episode, and then we're going to continue on and just kind of move from there. Because again, as mods come out, there's going to be things that are either going to be replacing what we have, and or hopefully, fingers crossed, again, we get some good copies of what was out there, right? So, okay, here we are, back where we left off. Thankfully, everything's the way it was. Now, again, the way the warehouse is set up now, we're not going to be using this little side entrance. So we do have our options. So I'm kind of humming and hawing right now as to whether or not we should keep them or get rid of them, because we could just get rid of them just like that and then they're gone, which I'm kind of thinking that's going to be the way is going to be. We can just stand right here for a second to get out of the way, and then from here. So again, we've got all the asphalt, everything. We still have this to deal with, which again I've been doing some thinking, and that could be a possibility. We might be able to try to fix this ourselves, but what we do from here again, it's just the options, right? Because I guess the big thing that's kind of flustering me is just it's not the same building, right? So we did have a fence in the back, which we can still have. Like there's still lots of options that we can do. Let's just see if we got because we're looking for a black fence that has no, not a chain link. Let's see if we have the same. Because then the other thing too, we might be turning into trying to find the similar fences through fence mods, right? So hopefully not. I mean, we're already getting into the construction. So yeah, that's going to be a no. So I don't think they have the base black fence. This metal mesh panel fence. What's this? Okay, I mean, it's doable. And what's this one? Nope, that's definite no. What about this one? No, not for a warehouse. I was like, on the first one might be our option there. We could do an old wooden. That could be an option too. Oh, also too, real quick, I totally forgot to mention because I was not paying attention that the warehouses here do have a configurable option where, okay, so see how we have all of the decoration in the front. If we go to customize, so if we hit R3, that's all. So we can actually get rid of the boxes. So we can just have the entry aids, and then we can have just the decoration, or we can have nothing, or we can have all. So I totally forgot to touch on that last time. I didn't even notice that there was a customizable option. So that's awesome there for whatever purposes. If you want to, you can have it where there's nothing, and then you can put in your own decoration. But we love detail. We love detail. So we're definitely adding it. So we don't have to change anything there. But I do apologize for not touching on that and not noticing that. So, okay, moving on. So from here now, because we have this and because it's asphalt, this is where the decoration is really going to be a little bit sparse, just because we technically don't have too much. Now, what I was thinking is, now that I'm thinking about that, we probably should have grabbed those, is the ground stains, because I'm thinking the ground stains, and I think there is a couple of the mods with the ground stains that actually do have, they do have the, what's the word I'm looking for here? They have the cracks. That's the word. Yeah, they have the cracks there. So Which so okay, so it looks like the fence is on the inside, or sorry, in the middle. So it doesn't look like there's like an inside outside. Now we did have now this is where the possibilities could be endless here. So we're gonna keep the snapping on. That's what we wanted. Hopefully keep it straight. Ooh, let's see. Let's just eyeball it there. So let's say there. We'll just do a little test here. Let's say about there. Oh, is it gonna let us? Okay, no, you know what? We can hold that there. Then maybe we can go to this one. We can go here. And then we go down to, oh, yeah, I like it. I like it. So about that line. So we just have to make it. I think it was, oh, hold on. Let's just see our, it was that little line right there, 2157. So if we go here, we go 2160. Oh, well, yeah, let's try that. Oh, that looks pretty close. That looks pretty close. Okay, so if we go from here, and then we slide that on over to there, right there. Okay, okay. So there we go. We got a nice little start there. So now from here, this is where we can put the gate in as well. What I like to try to do, because then we can at least leave one panel there and at least leave one panel there. Or if you want, what we can do too, if we get out of this, enter demolition. Oh, we did do the whole thing too, didn't we? Okay. Well, let's just go ahead, remove that. Um, let's do let's just do it the hard way then. Okay. All right. So we're gonna start again here. And we're gonna go one, full one right there. Okay. Now we're gonna go to segment type. We want, because we can have some good, even though we don't have the rear door, we do. Okay, so we only have one type of gate, huh? All right. Yeah. So even though we don't have the right type of, ooh, we lost a post. Don't have the right type of building, and we don't have the rear door there, what we can do is still kind of make a storage area, right? You can still have a usable storage area, hopefully. Oh, it's not going to work. Oh, darn it. Oh, this is just being stubborn because that gate is going to make it go a little bit off-centered. Okay, so let's get back in demolition mode. Let's remove that again. Let's get back into our fence. There we go, right there. Click on that. Now we're going to see if we can get down. Oh, see how now it is just a smidge off. So that is not bad because we're not like we can fix that. We can fix that. So what we could do. Oh, there's a couple options we can do. So we can just real quick here. We can try this, and oh no, I screwed that one up. Yep, we want to delete that again. Remove. Yes. Oy vey major. Okay. Okay. My mind's all on the testing. Okay, so we want that one right there, but we don't want the last segment. So we want a right about there, and then we're gonna go to there. All right, I think that's right about there. Oh, now we're gonna go one out, and hopefully be. I mean, we don't have to be crazy straight about that, but we can. Yeah, let's see there. Now we're gonna go one, just one segment. Ooh, easy camera. So one segment there. There we go. Now, ha ha ha. Okay, so oh yeah, see. Oh, that doesn't allow us to. But if we can do two segments, so we want there. That's what straightens it out. So I kind of eyeballing it. If we put it there, there, then we do that. Okay, okay, okay. Now this one, unfortunately, we are going to have to remove this one again. So demolition mode, remove that. That keeps the post. That's okay. So now we're going to go close to here. So we can, boom, allows us, perfect. Then we do one less. There we go. And then we do one there. Perfect. There we go. So now we've got the base square. So the reason why I'm doing one, I'll explain myself in a quick second here. So now we've got the base one. So now you can put in, good Lord, you can put in anything you want from the inside here. Or if you wanted to, what we're going to do, what we are going to do is we are going to enter demolition mode. We're going to take this segment out and that segment, and then we can kitty corner the fence. Ah! Okay, that's okay. That's okay. It's kind of working. All right, so now we get this, and then we go, will it work? Will it work? Oh, really? Oh, it's just not liking it. Okay, but what we could do, ooh, that'll actually look a little bit better maybe. So let's try to see where this, let's try there. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Rounded that right out. So now this one, we're probably going to have to add the one straight segment here. I mean, you could technically, you could do a roundabout segment here if you wanted to as well. I think we're going to go, I think it was right about there. And then, yeah, so let's try to get around the center. I'm going to say that looks about right. And there. Oh, there we go. So now it's just a little bit rounded out. It's a little bit easier to take the corners, and you're not so. Again, it's all preference, right? It's all how you feel like doing it. But that's how I did, right? So from here, we could get in a little bit closer. Totally could. Now after what we just went through, no. But if you're doing it, this is where, again, this is me and my perfectionist, right? So this is where I would delete it again and start over. But it so far, I mean, I like what's going on, and the way that they've leveled out so we can open this door. There we go. Get that in. So we've got that opening out. We should have actually had that going the other way. That would have been the more gooder thing to do, I think. So let's try. Let's try to delete that. Let's get our fence. Go here, and then we go segment, and now we reverse. There we go. Boom. Okay. There we go. Beauty. Beauty. So then we got our little section in the back here. So now this, again, it's kind of messing me up in the head here a bit, excuse me, just because of the fact that the way the building was so much bigger, it was set up differently. But so I'm just kind of on the fly trying to wrap what we're gonna do, but we can still do what we're doing. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be close. Now, right here, this is a prime example from when it comes to decoration. So from here, what we do now is basically what comes to like kind of like what I think of like how it would age in is how I look at it. So what I start with is the painting. So for here, let's get some grass. And again, with the asphalt. Ooh, yeah, yes, our next shout out. Thank you. So first and foremost, Dave Big Chief, thank you so much. Thank you so much. What a lifesaver. Check it out. Boom, square. All you have to do is hit square. Who'da thunk it? So, but Dave Big Chief there, he let me know there on the last video that we just hit square there, and we can actually do our own painting in the circle now. So we can actually do a little off center, but that's okay. But we can actually finally get all of that's gonna be so much gooder now, so much gooder. So super happy about that. And then also too, Craig Carter 8187 also let us know that we can actually do the exact same thing with the planting as well. So when it comes to the planting and the bushes, what have you, we can go in there, we can just hit the square button and the triangle button to go back to square, and then circle button, or sorry, a triangle button in the plants to go back and forth. And then when it comes to the painting, excuse me. And then when it comes to the painting here, I'm just going to be hitting all the wrong buttons. We just get in there. And yeah, that one, you just hit the square back and forth, and that gives you your square and your circle. So again, thank you too so much for letting me know that. And that is going to be a super game changer. So I'm super stoked about that. And from here, that means that our decoration and our decoration in general is going to be so much better. So, all right. So from here, let's see. So what I'd like to do is just like I did right there is we're going to get the grass and we're going to go, we're going to start putting this in, excuse me, sorry. So I get the smaller one usually. And it's just one of those things where it's going to be a little bit different when it comes to the asphalt because with the asphalt, I'm kind of torn. I'm kind of torn because we've got like it's all asphalt up to here, and I'm kind of feeling like gravel. I'm kind of feeling like gravel. Like I think if anything, it'd be the opposite. The type of warehouse that was in 22, I think was excuse me, um, was way more professional looking, so to speak. Where this looks way more like a warehouse at a farm, right? So as much as I pondered it, I was kind of thinking because like even just to have it all gravel, I think it would be the better option as well as for decorating, right? And then the asphalt, I mean, we're not going to be having, because we're just going to start over, I think. I think that'd be the best. Let's just do a quick little test here, and then we're going to get in again, down to the circle. Yeah. So we're going to get down to the circle just to the edge here, nothing too crazy. I want to get rid of all of our asphalt. And also too, depending on where, we can also keep a good chunk of the asphalt even in like the back little storage area, right? So we're going to hold off a little bit on that. We'll get to the detail in a second because the main thing, well, especially when it comes to painting, it's for me it's all in stages. It's just like little stages here and there. You do your edges, you do your initial edges, and then you come back around and you go back through and you come back big stuff, right? So we're gonna get our edges there, and then what we do is just come back in here and fill this in. Here, let's just because then it just makes me feel so much better, especially when it comes to oh, you know what? I mean in the back. See again, it's not like there's no, you know what? I don't think, you know what, we're just gonna hold off on that. Maybe we'll revisit that when it comes to um our decorating, but I think let's just give this a shot here. It'll let us a little bit. Yeah. We could. Nope. Oh, it's happening. All right. So let's just get this painted in. Do a little bit bigger one just to fill that. And then we get back down to our edges. And then we can also. Oh, yeah. Okay. Ooh, you know what? We can make a little road here. So perfect time right now. Let's just make our little driveway road because it does have the asphalt and concrete asphalt, and it comes over. So then from here, we can actually, what I'm going to do is we're going to start with some grass because what I like to do is I'll actually do the roadway last, right? So we're going to do some grass coming in here. And then we have a little dirt road. Yeah, okay, so we still have the dirt road over there. Gonna have some grass there. And then even there, little couple pots back, a couple spots there. Ooh, okay, don't worry about camera there. Trees, don't worry about that. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab yeah, the plants. And we want the super short grass for the center. And just little spots in there. There. And then I'll actually go a little bit over ham when it comes to the grass. Here. Right up the center, and then we can kind of go a little bit on the edges because the edges are going to get worn down, and as much as they actually already do have a good chunk of grass or the short on the edges, right? So, and I'm already thinking about that for 25 already. Just even at drop zone 1 for me, I'm already thinking of sticking the short grass in the little mini roadways, especially now that we can't actually cut the grass there. So, all right, so back now we get to our gravel. And then this is where I like to put in where the tire tracks would be and then actually stick in the gravel, and then that kind of works it all in. So hopefully this turns out. And then we can kind of get a little bit of gravel in there. Now this is a well-used road, so by all means oh, there we go, a little bit of build up there, build up there. So we're definitely going to be using a little bit wider pathways as well as work it through, right? There's little patches here and there when I kind of whatever sticks around. Now, if you wanted to as well, you can also just completely get rid of the asphalt or get rid of whatever you're working on. You can do a little bit wider there. Just kind of pop that in. You even have little chunks of asphalt still sticking in every now and then. You can see where it used to be years and years ago, right? Okay, get that in there. The gravel right along the edge here. Now, zoom in just to keep the camera a little bit slower when it comes to the detail work, and then the bulk work. If you can, then that's when we zoom out if you want to, whatever's comfortable. That's the main thing, right? It's just you're just gonna do whatever's comfortable, whatever floats your boat, how you do it. Everyone finds their own way. I mean, it's great to kind of just figure things out eventually, and then, ooh, and there we go. See, camera popped, and we just popped in some gravel right there. So, oops. Here we go. So instead, you get to watch me make all the mistakes. That's okay. We can see a little bit of gravel just slid down or built up. How's that sound? Yeah, we'll do that. And then even here still, we can road that right in. And then what we can do later on, eventually, we can again put just a little touches of grass in between. It all depends, right? Like if you're putting in a road from scratch, there's so many different ways you can do it, really. I mean, everyone has their own way. There's really no one perfect way of doing it. And that's the one thing I love about it, was everyone has their own way and nobody's wrong, right? So if you have your own way of doing it and it works out great, then fantastic. And I love hearing the different ways of doing it too, because once you hear how there's so many times that I've heard other ways and it's just like, oh, why have I not thought of that? I mean, again, Dave Big Chief, like again, thank you so much. I'm flabbergasted in that all the time that I've been fumbling around, that not once have I ever actually just accidentally hit the button and turned it. So, interesting. So I'm kind of laughing at myself about that. Kind of feeling like an idiot, but but it is what it is. So okay, so we're just gonna get rid of the because we don't need any of it way back here, that's for sure. And then we can do the rest on the other side. Zip on in here. Right. Okay, so that's all in there, just like so. We're good there. And then now that we have the gravel in, so now I feel way more comfortable when it comes to the grass patches. I feel like it could be, because again, the asphalt, like we could do the asphalt for sure. Again, we maybe in certain spots we can kind of have asphalt patches or a patch coming out. And if we were doing the asphalt, then you can have the ground stains. But I think this way it kind of gives it a little bit more. So a prime example is this right here. So we have the fence. So we can do the bigger grass because we can come back and come in with the gravel, right? So we're going to do the bigger grass all the way down, and we're just going to run that right along. And you can see how it kind of lines up. Now I know it's grid out. Now that's why when it does pop, which kind of, I mean, triangles or squares and that sort of stuff, that does kind of chop me a bit. But beggars can't be choosers, and I still make do with what I got, and I still think we do pretty good. I think we do pretty good. So that's right there. And again, we've gone like it looks pretty wide. I understand that. It definitely looks wide. But what we're going to do is we're going to bring the grass in, and then from the grass, we work the gravel back in, right? So then it becomes like a back storage area. So we're just going to fill the grass in right around there, kind of in the corners, right? There we go. We can even put some grass right there. You have the grass building up. Go. And a little bit more, just like we did before. Now, the good thing is because we got the gravel, you can kind of even make it look like, that the grass is taking over, right? And then even so much so is we can have one whole spot there that's just starting to fill in. This one can be a little bit used, right? A little bit pop out, a little bit there, a little bit more grass there, and then we can even go so far as to say, right? Like this is where, yeah. We can move the truck. Well, we can move the truck. We can put a little bit of spot, or you not move the truck because that's the high traffic one, right? So that's the one that has a lot. So this is where it's very much. I mean, it's very. This is where it's interesting because I would be totally switching back out of a steering wheel to do the landscaping because I kind of use the controller almost like a paintbrush in a Spence, just like it says painting, right? Where we use the controller for, and I kind of like swooping around. That's what I do like about that option. We can kind of around. So from here, we got the super short grass. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start every. Oh, hit the wrong buttons again, Major. So we're gonna start everything with the super short grass, and we're just gonna fill in where we can, and or like everywhere that we've actually put the green. And then again, don't worry about the overflow, right? The overflow is what you want because we're gonna be cutting it. Excuse me. We're gonna be cutting it back in, and then you can even do it smaller one, and we can just fill that stuff in. Right, and then we're gonna do the bigger, pop that out there, do a little thing there. Okay, and then fill that in, and then same thing, we're just gonna fill this in. And then now when it comes to the edges here, all the way across. So we're using the short, and that's what we want to start with. We want to start with the short because we're gonna be cutting it in. And then what I'd like to do is I'll come back with the medium and the long, and then we add the medium and the long on top of excuse me, we add, again with the words. We had the medium and long in spurts and spots. Same thing with the bushes, right? So we can put that in there. So there we go. So now we've got that. We've got our short in. So now we're going to go back. Let's get our medium over there. Now we can get our medium and just kind of pop it just a little bit, just every now and then, little spot here and there. Happy little medium, happy little medium. And then we can just do a little strip. And then same thing for the back here, right? Kind of pop it up. And again, just think of areas that what would be, what would build up, what would get high traffic, low traffic, what would be beaten down to the small, right out here. I wouldn't have necessarily a lot of long. I might have a little bit, we can have a little bit of medium over here, maybe a little bit of medium built up there. And then we'll have the medium over here as well. A good chunk of it there. And then we get our long, and that's where the build up. So we get our long ones, which again, the long makes it look like there's no maintenance. So that's when it becomes one of those, the back area, right? So you got a little spot there, spot there, a little spot there. In the corners too, right? The little corners there, it builds up. Same thing around the back side. Boom, boom, boom. Around the corners, just like that. There we go. And then we've got that little spot there. So that's all worn. It almost looks like it's, I'm trying to look at like it's aged in, right? So from there, then we're just going to make a quick little journey. Let's, if we want, we can definitely even toss in some bushes. So just real quick, bang, a couple bushes there. And this is where it's the artist's discretion, right? Toss a couple bushes in that corner. Maybe one big bush is kind of built up around there. A couple little small ones. So you got small ones here. Oh, it's the one thing that is annoying about this. But again, maybe you're not right in front of it. That's okay. We can fix that. So we can have maybe one pop in there. One trying to squeeze its way. Yeah, there we go. One trying to squeeze its way out in between. Then we get maybe another, what's this one? There we go. The big one, big-ish one. I think this is a small one. There we go. A small one there. One there. Perfect, perfect. And then we can even come back with the short grass with the circle. Oh, and so you got to be careful about bringing it back. See how you can bring it back close there, but if you bring it too close, like we can get rid of there, some short grass. There we go. There we go. A couple bushes all built up there, and then same thing you can do again here, right? We can just go down. What else we got? It's again, artist's discretion, right? So we're just gonna pop that in, boom, boom, boom. Like again, you can be picky, and there are times where I am picky, and then there's other times where I just kind of let the brush fall where she falls, right? So we just kind of pop that down. That brings up some bushes there. There we go. See, already looks like it's been here for 40 years. So there we go. Got those bushes in there. And then again, we don't have, we don't have the plants, so to speak. We do have, woo, boy. Okay, we got to get it back to something close to what we did. And I do remember there was a door here, there was a door here. We had a little island right here of grass. So we're gonna go right about. Let's try. I think it was about because it was there was a door there too because we had the old tractor. I think. So we're gonna say just right about there, a little bit of an island of grass. Okay, and then we had this one. We're gonna have some medium in the back, just like that. Yep, 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 yep. And then we're gonna grab some short. Grab some short right there. All right, and then the tree. It was like a little birch. I think it was like a little birch, if I remember correctly. Now that was a. Ooh, I don't know. I don't know. That's kind of close. Oh, no, no, it's not. That's twice as big. Okay, so old. We want old or white. That one's a little bit more bushy. Let's see what we got. What about this? Boo! Okay, so looks like our only viable option. Yeah, you know what? Not bad. I think that'll work. Let's see if we can get in a spot where the bushes aren't too glitching. See, that's the thing. Oh, when you move the camera, everything moves. Okay, so you know what? I think this is good. Let's do this. Let's say, boom, done. Okay. So here we go. So I got a little back storage there. Now we do have a lot of. Okay, so now this is where the bushes are there. That's no, and we are all not quite done yet because we all still have our sides because we can throw a little bit, just a couple things if we wanted to. Up in the that's way too far. That's not so bad. And then we can put maybe a small one. There's another small one we haven't used. That one maybe? Or have we used that one? Okay, that's not too bad. Okay, so let's just get rid of that. And then what we'll do is we'll just add a little bit of small grass just kind of working its way through the gravel. Out front there. Not so bad. Okay, and then from here, not so bad. See, sometimes less is more, right? Maybe. Right, and we still have our gravel to work back in, so we're not done yet. We're not quite done yet. This one, maybe. Okay, so this one, again, I don't think we need to do too much. I think maybe just a couple small ones. Oh, stop it. Yeah, because we're in that little area. That's right. Maybe we should have the little, I should put the bars up just so I remind myself. Hello? Hello? Whoa, that's a big one. Okay, that is, that could be one for maybe. Will you fit around? Yeah. Nice. Okay, so let's get some grass. Please don't go away. Perfect. Okay. Now we can get rid of that. So that. There we go. And let's just do those little tiny ones that we were doing. How about? There we go. Just like that. And then again, I don't know that. Okay, this is going to be a little touchy, but oh, not too bad. I think we're good there. Okay, so right about there. So I think again, we don't need too many bushes up front too. I don't think you can say higher traffic, but just like that, like that's kind of our initial, right? So that's just the initial. So this is where, because you've done all of this, if you're happy, right? So again, this is why we don't have autosave on. So if you're happy and you're liking where you're at, and this is where you're comfortable with, then before you move forward, that's when we hop out. Then what we do is I like to do the walk around first before I do the save. I got to remember to do that too. I know this. I get excited and then I forget and I skip steps. So here we are. We got a little back road here, which we will finalize there. We can put our little rug through there and little dabs of grass to make it look worn in and grown up, so to speak, as well as we got our side here, which we're not going to be using, but we will keep it open. But I still have some ideas. And then we also have, yeah, see, I think that fence looks pretty good. As much as I would like to have that black fence back again, but that is neither here nor there. And then we've got this. We've got the grass. It's kind of worked up. We can even put some tufts of grass randomly out here if we wanted to as well. The other thing too is as you drive, a lot of decoration. That's the thing is a big chunk of when I built 22 is the farm grew. That was it. It was as I played, I would just slowly add things and slowly touch things up. And hey, I'd do this, and hey, I'd hang around and I'd stare at something for 2 hours and not do something, and then I'd go and do something else, and then I'd stare at something else, or I'd delete everything and be like, nope, and then I'd sleep on it, and then I'd try it again the next night. And it's a growth process. I find it's a huge growth process where it's just something that I have a hard time very quickly sitting down and setting up, let's say, a huge farm, in an hour or two or a couple hours. It's very much something that like the farm grows. You grow the farm just as much as you're growing your crops, right? So that's why I do apologize. Sometimes it gets a little bit slow, or I do slow down, or I kind of get a little bit sidetracked. It's just my brain is going in so many different directions. Okay, and then again, like I said, we're just gonna kind of work it in. So now here, kind of work that in. We can kind of pop in a little bit of gravel that kind of like works in too close, as we drive around, and kind of work it in there. Maybe do a little spatch there, spatch there, spatch there, kind of cut it in. Oh, that was maybe a little close. We can come back with a little bit of grass there. We go right about there, just tightening it up a bit, right? And then even inside here, you don't even necessarily need to tighten it up, so to speak, right? It's kind of how things grow and how things work in. So that's just the initial start. And then when it comes there, let's just quickly touch this up. So a little bit spot in there, and a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Beauty. Pretty sure that's exactly the way it was before I deleted. So, all right. But we can put this on, but this actually puts the grass back over top of the gravel. So I kind of like that in the sense that it actually kind of makes it like the grass is actually, whoop, bye-bye, bush. Looks like the grass is actually encroaching into the gravel and coming out. So I do like that blend factor, right? So we can put the grass back on there. Here we go. So it's almost like things are growing up, growing in, growing through. And we can bring this out a bit. See how the grass is kind of painted in. Perfect. And then from here, now when it comes to the decorations, this is where it's going to be a little bit interesting just because there's so many options, right? So again, like the different ways you want to do it. Now I had it where this back area, because again, options wise, and the building that was there was actually rear access, right? So, we could have a dumpster, we could have something. Now, this, again, we have a door right there, so technically we could still do it. And then from here, this is where I always make sure my free mode is on. And then we just put this down, like, so let's say this dumpster right here, that might be a good spot. So we'll slap that down there. And then for the most part, you can see how the grass did get taken out a little bit back there. Now, the grass didn't get taken out here, so that's good. So I would leave that just because I do run the risk of popping over that bush, right? Now, if this was the opposite and the grass is over here, then I totally would 100%. And even if you wanted to, you could put some grass down on there. Now, I'm not going to worry about that right yet, just because we're not there yet. So from here, and again, it's how you feel, what you feel. Like what would be stored. Oh, there we go. What would be stored in this back, right? So a lot of palette work, right? So maybe not, that may be a little bit too big. But again, you just look at what the decoration options you have, and again, I just the way I think of it is, what would be there over time, that the farm would be running, things would be working, and then just try to piece it out. Let's see what else we got here. So we got to gear for some of the stuff here. Some of the stuff's neat. The other stuff, oh, you know what? You can throw in, oh, because there was that. Oh, yeah, that was, I remember that. I do remember it. So that one, I think it was this way. Okay. If I do remember correctly, it was somewhere around here. So we are just going to have to, let's say, right. So free mode is on. Yep. And then just want to make sure it's not going to be floating in the front end. And if it is floating, we have a remedy for that. So right there. Okay. So then what we'll do, so now from here, exactly like I said before, when it comes to the grass, over time. So very much so, we grab our long grass and we're going to throw some long grass underneath it for sure. Get some more up in the edges. Here we go. And then if you wanted to, we can even throw, can we throw a bush in the middle of it? Oh, oh yeah, that's the big one. Oh, I forgot about that one. Okay, yeah, that's a little bit much. So no, we're just gonna stick with the grass. Stick with the way it was. You gotta stick with that. I'm trying to keep. There we go. Okay, so then, and I picked the wrong grass. There we go. A little bit of long. And then we can even have the long kind of. Oh, there we go. Come out a little bit. Yeah, there we go. I like it. I like it. And then we'll add a little bit of medium right beside. Just gonna work it down. Okay, there we go. And then from back to there, again, this is all like this is where it's tough, just because it's all personal preference, right? So now last time we did have it here, but we did have employee parking. So that is where we are going to be changing a little bit of things as we go, as much as I would love for it to be. Yeah, as much as I would love for it to be, I know that it's just is not going to be that way. So from here, again, just kind of keep putzing our way down. We don't want to be too much. Now, what we want to do is, I do know there's the vehicle. We have those ones. And I do know that they did come out with a vehicle pack. And it's a new vehicle pack with new vehicles. However, it is, I hope it's in this one. Yep, there it is. Okay. But it's new types of vehicles. Okay. So we got an old dumper. Neat. Okay. An old school bus, or not old school bus, I should say, but forklift. New truck. Truck. Hey, postal truck. Oh, it looks like a lot of the NPC vehicles. Okay. Okay. So yeah, we've got lots of options and no beat up old truck. But we can let's about that one. See, it looks so new. So we can have this one just sitting in the back here, maybe just hanging out. Do some free mode, because you always want to make sure the free mode is on. Just make sure it doesn't mess up with the ground, right? Because we didn't do perfect leveling in this area. Good Lord, camera. We didn't do perfect leveling in this area, so that's where we do have to be careful. So what we're going to do is from here, just basically pick and choose. Again, pick and choose, right? What do you feel that would be in there? There is a lot of decoration to be going through. So there's a lot of things that you can decide or oh, you know what? That might be good for doing our construction zone. Okay, keep that in mind too, because we got to get to that. My word, look at the time. Holy jumping. So this is where, unfortunately, I need to get used to not finishing at the end of an episode, because there is just so much to do, because we still got to get way back here. And we still got we have the logging depot, and we have we got so much. So again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for hanging out for episode 2. I'm super excited for episode 3 now. So again, okay, and I am happy. So here, this is what we're going to do, because I forgot to do it last episode too. So here we go. We're going to save it. Boom. Saved up. So now from here, you know what I might do too. You know what? Let me know in the comments, because I want to bring you with me every single step of the way. But do you want to sit here with me while I put down every single decoration? That's my dilemma right now, is that I kind of feel like it can take forever, but I also really want to have you with me through every single step. But already I think like we're not even done yet. And that already looks like the building's been here for quite some time. Oh, okay. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. And yeah, we will see you in episode 3. Okay, awesome. Thanks.